Hello, today I'm going to talk to you about 5 things that, after 6 years of living in France, still feel hard to me. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're new here, my name is Patricia Brooks, and I moved from Richmond, Virginia to the south of France 6 years ago. And I help women who are ready to start the next chapters of their lives living in a foreign country find the confidence and courage to finally make that move. And on my channel, I talk about life in France, moving abroad, and finding the confidence and courage to live life on your terms. Today, as I said, I am going to be talking about 5 things that feel hard and that are frustrating still after 6 years of living in France. Now, I do want to mention I'm going to be doing a video that is going to be the opposite. Some things that are easier or feel easier after 6 years of living in France. But today is going to be a little bit of a bitch fest. So buckle in. All right. The first thing that feels hard after 6 years here is the doctor situation. In the beginning, finding a doctor for me was not hard at all because my apartment was leased by a doctor. His office was just below my apartment, and so I had a doctor baked right in. So it wasn't a problem until he retired a year and a half ago. And that sent me looking for a new doctor, which I didn't think would be so challenging. But in fact, it was. And I think I looked for a doctor for about 3 or 4 months before I found one who is about 12 miles away from my village. And he is okay. But the problem recently has been that I needed to have 2 prescriptions refilled. And I called his office to see if he would write a prescription for me. And the first time I called, I got a message saying, I'm not available. The next day I called, same message. Called for a third time. Finally, I decided to go to Doctolib, which is a website where you can make appointments with doctors. And his next appointment was not until June 17th. Now, I was doing this on April 12th. And so that led me to believe that maybe he is having some health issues that he is taking care of, and so is not available. So I did go to the pharmacy to see what I could do, and I did have a prescription. One of the drugs was still valid on that prescription, and so she filled that. And the second one was not. However, she gave me a 30-day supply as an exception. So if I don't find another doctor to write me that prescription before my appointment in middle of June, then what she said I could do is I could just pay out of pocket for that prescription. So I think that's probably what I'll be doing. But it's frustrating, right? When you need to find a healthcare professional, one who's close, one who's good, one who is available. It really can lead to a stressful situation. So for me, last year was the stressful situation. This year was a little bit of an inconvenience, but I think I'm over the hump having found at least a doctor who is able to write me prescriptions. All right, so that is the first frustration. And this is not something that is unique to my area. I've seen videos about medical deserts throughout France. And so it is a problem that I think that is being addressed, but I don't think it will be solved or much better for at least a decade is what I read. So definitely something that I hadn't anticipated, didn't have a problem with initially, and now I find it frustrating. All right, so that is the first thing. The second thing that I find hard here is getting good customer service and not feeling like I'm to blame when something doesn't go right. I recently had my car repaired. The end of November, there was something wrong with my steering wheel. I took the car into the dealership. They diagnosed it, saying it needed a part. They said that the part would be available in a week. A week goes by. I didn't hear anything from them. And a couple days later, after that, I called to see if the part came in. They said, oh, no, the part's not in, but we'll call you when it comes in. So this is the beginning of December. December goes by. January goes by. Most of February goes by, and I don't hear anything from them. And I'm not calling just because I don't want the frustration. So third week in February, I get a call saying, oh, the part is in. And I'm like, oh, you were checking on that? I thought you weren't doing anything with that. So I scheduled an appointment to have the car fixed. The day before I was supposed to go, I get a call saying that the mechanic was sick and that I needed to reschedule. Unfortunately, I didn't pick up the phone when they called. And so I called back. I said, okay, I need to make an appointment since, reschedule this appointment. And so they rescheduled the appointment for about a week later. And I show up and they look at their calendar and they say, oh, we don't have you on our books. So I'm like, yeah, but I made the appointment. I called here and you guys made the appointment. And I showed them the confirmation and they looked at it and they read it and they said, oh, well, you made an appointment for Citroën, another car dealership. I guess that's associated with their group that uses the same call center. You made the appointment with Citroën. I'm like, no, I called here to schedule an appointment for my Kia. So I didn't make the appointment with Citroën. You made the appointment with Citroën. Didn't get into it, but that was how I was feeling. I was feeling like there was a mistake. It was on their end and they deflected the blame, right? And so this is something that I have experienced and it never feels good, especially when I'm not at fault. And that's that's a part of the lack of customer service. But overall with this dealership, there is a lack of customer service that doesn't feel good, doesn't feel like I am king, right? Or queen. So that is another thing that I find challenging here. And it's not just with this dealership, because I do have a history with them and I can go on and on and on, but I'm not going to. But just in general, customer service and that kind of friendly, we're here to help sort of attitude is a little bit lacking here. So, and it can be frustrating when things bubble up like that did. So that is the second thing that feels hard after 6 years of living here in France. The third thing is something I experienced just this week. I am not a big shopper. I don't necessarily enjoy clothes shopping, but from time to time it's necessary to do that. I woke up on Monday morning for a third day in a row thinking, what am I going to wear? It's getting a little bit warmer out. I don't have that many items to wear. It's time for me to go shopping. And so I got in the car and I went to Perpignan to go shopping. And I was in a good mood. I'm like, I'm going to find some things that I like, forgetting that some of the styles here just don't suit me. When I first moved to Perpignan, I remember buying clothes that had sequins on them. And I am not a sequin kind of girl, but it seemed like everything had sequins on them. The jeans had sequins on the back pockets and my shirts had sequins, in the butterflies. And it was just not me, but I wound up buying these things because that was what I could find. And so I went shopping on Monday and I just needed some tops and I was successful in finding some tops, but they weren't tops that I was over the moon about. They were okay. They'll do, but I really struggled to find something that felt like it was me. And so that is something that feels hard, still feels hard after 6 years. Now, when I go back to the States, that's one of the things I try to do is to go to stores that I used to frequent and get some things that I really like because I do miss that. And I think that there is the possibility that I struggle just because where I am, Perpignan is not really a fashion capital. So maybe there would be more of a selection and more variety and more things that would suit me. If I was in Paris, I know when I went to Pau, 3 years ago, they had lots of stores and I was only there for a couple of days. But while I was there, I found these really cute boots that I absolutely love. So I think this could be fixed perhaps if I were in a different area. But where I am now, I struggle to find clothes that I really like. All right, so that is number 3. Can you relate to any of this? If so, give this video a thumbs up. Now, the 4th thing that I still find hard here, and maybe I find it hard now and didn't necessarily realize it would be hard here in the beginning because I wasn't ordering a whole lot of specialized equipment, but the lack of selection. In the United States, there is a lot of selection on just about everything. And I even did a video where I talked about there can be decision fatigue because there's so many choices that you have to choose from in the US. Here in France, there are options, but not endless options like in the US. And for somebody who's looking for something that's specialized, like equipment for my YouTube videos, that can be hard to find, especially if people have reviewed certain equipment and it looks really like it would be very helpful. I can't always find that. Another thing that is hard to find is books in English. Now, I'm able to order some books in English, no problem, especially if they're newer books. But somebody recommended I get the book, Book Yourself Solid, which is a book that's probably about 20 years old, but it's a classic. And so I went to Amazon.fr to order it, and I could find it. I found it from a UK bookseller. The problem was, for this $30 book, they were asking for over $120. Yes, right? So needless to say, I didn't get that book. I got the audio version. And the frustrating part about it for me really was I was in the US in February, and a friend of mine had that book, and she offered to give me her copy, and she would just order a new version. And I said, oh, no, I'll get it. I'll be fine. Right? And then when I saw that price, I'm like, oh, Patricia, you should have taken the book. So the lack of selection can really be a little bit of an annoyance or an inconvenience. So it's something that I haven't gotten used to and still struggle with. And the final thing is related to number 4. I recently ordered some equipment for my YouTube videos, a light for my live streams, because I know that I'm not the brightest in them. I do them in the early evening, and the light is not as bright as it is during the day. And so I found the light that somebody had reviewed. It was coming from a company in Germany, and I always hesitate to order online anyway because number 5 is that I struggle with deliveries. Deliveries here feel hard, even with Amazon. Now, if you are living or have ever lived in the US and ordered anything from Amazon, you know that the delivery is pretty quick and it's pretty efficient. Like if you order something in the morning, you might have it by that evening. If not, you're probably going to have it the next day. So I ordered this light. They said it would be there in 6 to 10 days. I'm like, okay, if I get it in 6 days, that would be great because that will be just in time for my next live stream. But if not, that's okay. I ordered it. I said, I'm going to get this light and it's going to be great. And so Saturday rolls around, which was day 6, and I did not receive it, which was fine. I didn't have high hopes that I would get it. And like I said, so it was fine. But on Monday, the following Monday, I get an email from Amazon saying that the shipper was unable to deliver my package. Some vague message. And I'm like, what does that mean? Because nobody tried to call me to tell me that they were downstairs with my package. And so I called Amazon to find that out, because that's not the first time I've gotten a message like that, a vague message saying, oh, we tried to deliver it, but there was a problem. So I called to kind of find what was going on, because the last time that happened, they were unable to deliver it for 3 days or 4 days, and they wound up sending it back. And I ordered it for a reason, right? Not to have it sent back. So anyway, Amazon was very helpful. They sent a message to the seller. The seller contacted the shipper, and I received a message the next day saying that, oh, it's out for delivery today. You should receive it. And that was Tuesday, and I did receive it. So fortunately, there's a happy ending to this story, but there's not always. And so shipping and delivery is something that I still find hard, and it can be frustrating. It can be a little bit stressful too, especially if it's something that I really need and I'm not sure if it's going to come or not, right? And that's not a good feeling to have. So those are 5 things that I find are still hard after 6 years of living here in France. Which one of those surprises you the most? Let me know in the comments. All right. So I've been here for 6 years, and it's not something that I thought was possible for me, especially 2 years out. It was something I really wanted, but didn't believe it was possible. And I got sick and tired of wanting this thing and not moving forward toward reaching this goal. And so I hired a coach to help me get unstuck. And what she did was amazing. She helped me to actually move forward, to look at my fears and address them and actually do the work that was required to get here. And now, 6 years later, it's like, oh yeah, I believe this. I'm living this amazing life. But had I not reached out and gotten help, I don't know that I would be here. And it feels amazing to wake up every morning and look out my window and see the mountains in the distance. It's just this incredible feeling. So if you have this dream in your heart to live in a country that you've been aching to for a long time, maybe it's been 2 years and you don't feel like you're making progress, or maybe it's been 5 years, or maybe it's been even longer than that. And you are finding yourself frustrated that you are not making this happen, then I would love to have a conversation with you to find out where it is you want to go, why you want to go there, what are the things that are holding you back, and if our working together could help you get there sooner and with more ease. So be sure to click the link in the description, thecouragecatalyst.com/future expat. And I look forward to our conversation. All right. So that is all I have for you today. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up, share it with friends, subscribe, and I will see you next time with things that are easier after 6 years of living in France. Take care. Bye for now.